welcome to the Golden Pet Peeves video. Now I know I'm supposed to be making one on like the fake friends thing, or what? Wait, no, I think it was just about that was the first one. Don't worry, I'm still gonna do that. So I do apologize that this is one of the first Golden Pet Peeves you get. But I think I'm able to get this out of my head now since it's like been on the top of my head for like the longest. Now, in the background, I would be drawing the thumbnail of what Golden Pet Peeve I'm talking about, or at least coloring in. But I guess I'll be just doing the background of me drawing Jev's Bakura thumbnail. So yeah, so you see my thumbnail. Now I'm gonna use that for, well, this video, of course, since it didn't really go nowhere on Twitter or Blue Sky. You would think having a Pride Month art that's, I would say it's the best, but it's decent, posted on like the day of Pride Month, it would actually like go somewhere, but it didn't. So I guess I'll be using it for this video. At least it's being put to good use for something other than sitting there not being seen by anybody, right? Anyway, let's proceed to the video. Hopefully you like the art. Thank you. I have to talk about something I recently learned, and that was the fact I found out that being a straight ally doesn't mean that you're part of the LGBTQ plus community. Well, LGBTQIA plus 2 spirit. I'll just say LGBTQ plus or IA plus for now. So I think that's a little interesting. Well, odd actually. You would think you would fit in more with a group if you support them. You would think that you're a part of it since you support them, but you're actually not, because you don't identify as the letters of the said group. I don't know if that changes now since LGBTQIA plus 2 spirit. It probably doesn't, but I personally think that that's kind of dumb. Why? Because well, you're supporting the group. It just doesn't make sense to me. When you're supporting a group, you would think you would at least align or fall part or fall in with it, right? But apparently not. It just means that you're just an ally, which is just a whole separate thing. You see why that doesn't add up to me? It's like what's a good example? I actually don't know how to put this. You support a team, but I mean, I guess I can kind of see the difference due to the fact that, like, imagine you supporting a team. It doesn't mean that you're a part of that team like playing, but you're a part of the team that's like in the back supporting it. I mean, it doesn't feel equal. You know what I mean? It feels like you're a separate thing. You don't feel like one whole. I mean, yeah, there's people that's actually putting in, I guess, backbone, which is reasonable. I'm not against that at all. But then, you wouldn't get so far without the support, and that's always been the thing. People that try, they don't try for no reason. They don't motivate themselves for no reason. So that's why I think it's a little silly to think that when you're just a straight ally, you're just not part of the community regardless, even though you're an ally. So then it makes me ask the question, what is the point of the straight ally flag? Is it just to be pretty? I mean, the flags are made all the time for different reasons. I mean, you got obviously our states, each one of them have like their own flag, so that makes sense. It's to represent them, that group. The LGBTQ community represents a rainbow flag because it's a stage of all various different colors. But even then, all sexualities have their own flags, but they still all fall under the umbrella of the rainbow. I might have missed something. I might have to go get deeper research on that. I just know every sexuality have a different flag, and every single color of the rainbow, if you put a different color into them, they would match another color if you combine them. So the rainbow did make sense, but then it makes you wonder about, where do straight allies even fit in at all? I mean, I did find out that apparently they are very, very handy when it comes to the LGBT movement. I might have to go, hold on, let me check what it is. Okay, so the Gay Straight Alliance, and I'm getting this from Wikipedia, by the way, if anyone's wondering. Most LGBTQ plus organizations have straight or cisgender members involved, while others are actively encourage straight and cisgender participation. A good example of the change straight allies can help achieve the Gay Straight Alliance, GSA, which has been becoming more popular in schools around the world. A Gay Straight Alliance is also known as a Gender Sexuality Alliance. Is a student-run club that brings together LGBTQ plus and straight students to create a platform active in the fight homophobia and transphobia. The goal of the Most Gay Straight Alliance is to make their school community safe, facilitate activism on campus, and create a welcoming environment for LGBTQ plus students. Okay, well, this is talking about students, not general people. But I think even then, being taught that, it would of course follow you up to adulthood. So I think the rule still applies. I mean, that's the point of going to school anyways, for you to learn so you can, when you go on in your adult life, you would know what you're supposed to be doing. So now this makes me ask my question, unless I didn't understand what I just read myself, because I know that can sometimes tend to happen. Why are we not part of that group? It's like a bubble. We're all like a whole different bubble. We're on a different side of the multiverse, and I find it very dumb and unnecessary. It's just like, okay, why can't we be an ally and be a part of that group? I mean, aren't you comfortable with people that's a different sexuality, different gender? Point of being a straight ally, is it not? Unless there's a different meaning that I'm not quite understanding or not getting. Maybe I'm just missing the plot entirely. I wish that wasn't the case, but it tends to be that way. Now, in all honesty, if you want to know what my thoughts of a straight ally is, I would say a straight ally is someone that's, of course, comfortable with anyone that are LGBTQIA+ two-spirit. It makes a lot of sense to me. It's called an ally. Why would you... You're not really in alliance with somebody if you're not comfortable or okay with the said group, you know? So it makes me wonder, why are we separate? And this plays a major role too when it comes to at least the people I hang out with. And now we're at the part of the video where I'm about to talk about myself. Again, as per usual, you know, my personal little experiences. So I have a lot of friends that are either gay, bisexual, or any other, right? I have a lot of them like that. I only know like a couple straight people. And even then, I barely get to even talk to them because they're all doing their own thing, right? They're hanging out with their friends. So, of course, I don't mind hanging out with this group because they're awesome. They're just like me. They're just normal people, just like everyone else. They're not bad at all. They're pretty fun. They like to chill. And so, you know, when I try to at least hang out with them or fit in with them, and I'm also part of a community that enjoys art, all types of art in all different aspects, right? So of course I won't argue with a piece of art. I won't, you know, it's just how it is. But then when I'm trying to at least fit in the conversation or trying to hang out, you get hit with the question, well, I don't know if I can show you this. And then you're like, well, I'm like, no, not you're like, I'm like, why? It's because you're straight. And I'm like, what does that mean? Like, I had occurrences where I certain people couldn't talk to me or wouldn't talk to me because of the fact that I was straight. Like, that was a deal breaker. I'm like, avoid me. I don't know what it is. And I'll tell you the location before anyone thinks it's like just it's mainly been VR chat furries around there. They look at me like, what's the word? Like I can't be talked to, you know? They look at me like they can't be friends with me, like they can't talk to me, none of that. And I never quite understood why that was the case. Like, it makes me ask, well, what makes you think I'm exempt from talking to you? Just because I'm straight doesn't mean I can't dive into certain topics. I'm someone that like break the bounds of, basically, I broke the bounds of my own thought process and my own feelings. So I can engage in a lot of topics that a lot of people would think is gross or probably questionable at best, right? And it's only because words is the power each of us hold. And you can't sit here and ban yourself from every word that is just a term. Now, certain words, for obvious reasons, should not be said. You should always have respect. You should always have boundary when it comes to specific words, right? But I think anything that is just anything to do with like gay or anything other than that's just not straight, I don't think it's that big of a deal to me. I think it's perfectly fine. I just treat people like how they want to be, another person. I know I probably shouldn't be trying to look for that with people on VR chat. The people on here is extraordinary, but I don't want to look at people on VR chat like that, right? Because they still are people too. They just have a different view. They have a different motive and they have a different feeling. So it makes you wonder, okay, so what's the point of this video? It just sounds like that you're just talking just to talk. And I guess I could see why you would see it like that, but no, I'm genuinely sharing an experience that I'm going through that I think is a little silly at that. I appreciate all my friends. They can be gay, they can be queer, they can like inanimate objects. I'm not gonna question you. You're cool. You're alright. I don't see why I have to be exempt from conversations or hanging out. Like, I met, like there was a person I was friends with, right? And you know, I talk about like fat fur community a lot. That's a fat fur. Now, I guess he doesn't count right because he's older. He's like older than even me. So maybe he doesn't count because he's like from like a different, slightly different gen. But it's the fact that I've been friends with him for like a long time. Me and him never really talked. You know one of those occurrences where like you meet them a couple times because y'all both kind of dive into the same group, but then y'all don't really talk, but then y'all say hi. It was like that. And it was very enlightening to talk to another fat fur that wasn't like everyone else. And I was sitting there like, what was going on here? I was like, what is going on here? It's like I'm actually having a mature conversation with somebody. It's like I'm not actually having to fight or grasp at things with people here. It's like, yo, what's going on? Now, I probably shouldn't get too comfortable. That is one time, right? But when he told me that he didn't want to be, I guess he was like trying to be respectful. He was trying to be respectful because he thought that anything that wasn't straight related, I would just be offended of him by, which I'm like, no, that's far from it, dude. I don't mind that kind of stuff. It's whatever. Imagine being a straight ally and you're very like, so, how do I put this? Offensive when it comes to beings that, I said beings, oh my gosh, people that aren't straight. So tell me this, what is the point of the straight ally flag? Is it just for looks? Or is it actually supposed to mean something? Because if it's supposed to mean something, why are we separated? Or at least, why is it separate from the main group? Does that like make us look we lose power or something? I don't think it's that way. That's a little odd if you feel that way. I think you should have more power when it comes to that kind of stuff. Sorry for the rant, I guess. I just think it's unfair that I'm part of a group where we appreciate all forms of genders and sexualities just for me to find out that it hits different when, oh yeah, you're not actually part of the group. You're just an ally. You're not the same. Kind of goofy, but yeah. If you want to know my genuine feelings on what I would want, I think straight allies should be an LGBTQ+ member. Okay, I don't think they should be exempt from it. I think they should also be a part of the group to make it feel more like you're being welcome somewhere where you actually are. It makes it seem like that you're part of something than just being an outsider just looking in, because that's already something people do. They be an outsider looking in. People that are on the outside looking in, they don't understand. They don't understand when they're just looking in. They need to do a deeper research. They need to do a deeper look, and they don't choose to. It's up to the people that are willing to do it that can understand that. You would be surprised by the things that you've learned by researching. In my big video on so much that I learned about furries and probably like a little bit of subcultures, I want to know more about the subcultures. There might be something or somewhere on the internet I could probably learn, but I learned about one subculture that people do not like, and I was confused why, but I never had like a general disdain. But it was odd because you only get like a perspective that's like not like a point of view that's like it doesn't sound real or it doesn't sound natural, but it's there. But then you hear the views where it's a different reason, and then when you take those views and summarize them to the honest way possible, you get a different feeling when you learn about it. You feel dumb. You get a positive outlook on it, a respectable one. So yeah, I think doing research is important. Heck, someone can catch me if I didn't do enough research or understanding that a straight ally is part of the community or not. As far as I know, I think I saw like one thing where they are a big help to the LGBTQ last time I checked. Of course, I don't think it's a good source because the overview can tell you anything. I don't really fully take the overview's words on that, but when I saw, it was brief. It was very brief. When I saw two different pages where it said like, oh, straight ally is not part of the LGBTQ, my brain flatlined. It was like, what? How? I don't know. Maybe someone can also make any sense of this. Thank you for listening. If you made it this far. Hopefully I can stop rambling. If I don't stop rambling, I guess see me in the next video where I keep opening my lips. Like and subscribe. Bye bye.